Hello again. Welcome to Amplify. Amplify is going to be your science for this year. I'm really excited about science, and the feedback from students in 7th grade is that they're really excited about how much more science we get to do. So it's really important that you become familiar with Amplify. Now, Amplify comes with a workbook. We'll worry about that later, but as far as getting logged into Amplify, now at the top here you can see it says my.amplify.com. The way you get to Amplify actually is by going to learning.amplify.com. You can see it pops up, and here we are. So you are going to be seeing this screen, and you're going to click the white option down here that says login with Amplify. You will enter your username. Your username is going to be your 6-digit ID number at live.cvesd.org. That's not my username, so I'm going to use my username real quick. Your password, that will be your Achieve password, and then we log in. When you log into Amplify, you're going to see all of these different units. These are the units of study that we will go over in 7th grade for science. So you can see the first unit is called Geology on Mars. I'm going to take you through a little tour of what a typical unit would look like. So I'm going to click on this first unit. You can see it comes with 11 lessons. And those 11 lessons are separated into 3 chapters. So the first chapter is called Comparing Earth and Rocky Planets. Chapter 2, Using Models as Evidence. Chapter 3, and so on. So you can see each of these chapters has a few lessons. Now my screen as a teacher looks a little bit different because I have other resources, standards, boring stuff that you don't need to worry about. So for you, if I were to say log into Amplify, we're going to look at the Geology on Mars lesson 1.1. 1.1 means chapter 1, lesson 1. You can see there's lesson 1.1. So again, lessons are going to be referred to as 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Let's say we move into chapter 2. And I say, we're going to look at chapter 2, or actually I would say lesson 2.3. Lesson 2.3 means chapter 2, lesson 3. Lesson 2.3, there it is. So when I look at these lessons, a typical lesson is going to have an overview. This overview is going to give just an idea of what the lesson's about. Yours will not have all of these digital resources, although you will have some of them. But each lesson starts with a warm-up. So these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, those are the different parts of the lesson. Now this T, you're not going to see this flowing lava model video. That's because that's for my teacher edition. So you're only going to see 1, 2, 3, and 4. But each time your lesson is going to start with a warm-up. So we're going to click on warm-up, and you won't see that. This is what you will see. You'll see a couple of questions that you'll need to answer, just as a warm-up. The second part of the lesson includes a hands-on activity, testing an idea with a flowing water model. So typically what we do in this activity is we set up a stream table outside, and we take a look at what happens to land mass when water flows through it. So you would take observations. The next part of the lesson, we would be observing a flowing lava model. So this one's actually a video. And then you'll see that the last part is homework. So each lesson starts with a warm-up and ends with a homework assignment. Now, not all lessons have a homework assignment. Most do. And this homework assignment is usually just a couple questions. Sometimes it includes a reading. You can see this one includes a model. So this is the flowing lava model that you'll learn about later. And you have a couple questions to answer about that model. When you answer those questions, after I type in my answers, there's a button down here that says hand in. So that's you turning in your homework. Okay, so those are the main components of a lesson. Now, if we go back to that lesson, sometimes you will see different articles posted over here. I'm going to go to a different lesson, and let's see if we can find some articles. This one doesn't have any yet. We'll do articles in just a second, but something else I want to draw your attention to is this glossary. So this glossary will provide you with definitions to words that you may not know. So, for example, the word atmosphere, biosphere, channel, and so on. It just kind of explains what those words are. So if you don't know what the word biosphere means, you can go to the glossary and look it up. You could also type it into Google and go that route, but this will give you a really quick and simple definition that's going to be helpful for understanding our learning. You can also see that there's a definition in Spanish. So you have the term in English, definition in English, term in Spanish, and then definition in Spanish. So if you feel more comfortable comprehending in Spanish, you have that option as well. That's the glossary. Let's see if we can find an article. All right, so if we went to lesson 3.1 or chapter 3, lesson 1, you can see that there is an article. So I can click on the sidebar over here and you can see that there is an article here. Who becomes a space scientist, information, and you can also see that there's a word in blue here. This word means that it's a part of the glossary. So that means it's an important vocabulary word. If I don't know what evidence means, I can click on it and it will give me, again, the definition in English and in Spanish. If you are someone who has a hard time maybe understanding longer texts, another option you have when you're reading an article is to click on this sound button and it will actually play the article for you.
Who becomes a space scientist? Space is so vast.
So I can actually listen to the whole article and follow along. I don't have to just read it myself. So it's a great option as well. You're going to learn a lot more about Amplify as we continue on. Again, when you log in, you're going to see this screen. These are all of the units. Feel free to explore. Excuse me. Feel free to explore these different units, see what interests you. There's one other component that I want to show to you. So I'm just going to click on this phase change unit. Let's go to, we'll go to lesson 2.1. Now you're going to see here that it says the word sim. Sim stands for simulation, which means that you are going to recreate some sort of scientific activity. So if I click on sim, it gives you instructions how to access the simulation. The first step is to go to the Amplify library. The Amplify library is another place where you can find different articles. So here it's going to give you access to the articles for this unit. And I can see just different articles in this unit. But I can also see that on the second page, it's having me launch the phase change simulation. The simulations are really fun, in my opinion. When we click on the simulation, it's going to be an activity for you to explore. So this one is, phase change unit is studying how substances move from a liquid to a solid, from a gas to a liquid, and so on. So with simulations, you'll see that you are given instructions let's see. You are given instructions, so it says choose a substance A, B, or C, A, B, C, or D that matches the starting phase of the water described in your text. I don't expect you to understand that right now, but so I would maybe select substance C. I might change a few of these things, and then I'm going to click play. Ooh, we can see different particles moving around. Let's see what happens when I mess with this over here. This should let me. Okay, I can see that my thermometer is going up. What's happening to the little balls? What do they mean? Oh, they're starting to move faster. What happens when I slow them down? The temperature goes down. I can rotate. I can bump. Maybe I can only bump when it's this direction. Anyways, so I can just kind of play around with this. I may not understand what it is now, but these simulations are going to be a really important way for us to learn and to practice science. So my goal for you in this first task is to just get logged in. Get logged into Amplify, explore some of these units, take a look at what a lesson includes, look at different features that you can click on. You'll have access to the glossary, articles, simulations, etc. Just explore. You're going to get more information on your first lesson and what's required of you later. This is just your chance to get logged in, get comfortable, and explore.